The Awakening. The darkness of stasis dissolved slowly, replaced by the sharp sting of revival chemicals flooding Commander Maya Chen's system. Her lungs burned as they filled with oxygen for the first time in centuries, each breath like drawing in liquid fire. Warning indicators flashed across her neural interface as her augmented body fought to stabilize after the prolonged dormancy. Status report, she gasped, her voice sounding alien to her own ears. Commander Chen, stasis protocols terminated. Date is March 15, 2783. Awakening Protocol Alpha has been initiated due to perimeter breach, replied AI, the AI system controlling the underground facility. You have been in cryostasis for 247 years, 3 months, and 17 days. Maya's enhanced eyes adjusted quickly to the dim blue emergency lighting of the revival chamber. Her muscles screamed in protest as she forced herself upright, synthetic fibers interwoven with her natural tissue recalibrating after centuries of inactivity. Perimeter breach. Explain, she demanded, her tactical implants already beginning to process combat scenarios. Unknown vessel detected in Earth orbit. Configuration matches Concordat design patterns. This is the first recorded approach in 73 years. The Concordat. The name echoed in Maya's mind, triggering a cascade of memories. The final days of war, the orbital bombardments that devastated Earth's surface, the desperate plan to preserve humanity's last hope within Project Sentinel. She had volunteered to be one of the Sentinels, genetically and cybernetically enhanced soldiers kept in stasis, ready to defend what remained of humanity should the enemies ever return. The experimental augmentations had been painful, irreversible, but necessary. She was weapon and guardian in one, the culmination of humanity's desperate final technologies. Display orbital scan, Maya commanded. A holographic projection materialized before her, displaying Earth's orbital space. The alien vessel was elegant, all smooth curves and gleaming surfaces, unmistakably Concordat in origin. It maintained a high orbit, running what appeared to be systematic scan patterns across the planet's surface. Population status? Maya asked, already dreading the answer. Current human population on Earth's surface estimated at 3.2 million individuals, primarily concentrated in 17 major settlement zones. Technology levels vary significantly, with most communities operating at pre-industrial capacity due to Concordat prohibition protocols. Maya closed her eyes briefly. 8 billion reduced to this. The Concordat's containment strategy had been devastatingly effective. Off-world human presence. Approximately 72 million humans recorded across 31 unregistered colonies and nomadic fleets operating beyond Concordat-controlled space. Several colonies have achieved technological parity with mid-tier Concordat worlds, but remain hidden. A grim smile tugged at Maya's lips. They had survived. Against all odds, humanity had endured, scattered among the stars, hiding in the shadows between alien worlds. The revival chamber's medical systems continued working, injecting her with nutrients and stimulants designed to accelerate her return to combat readiness. As her mind cleared, her augmented memory recalled the facility's capabilities with perfect clarity. AI, activate defense grid. Authorization, Chen Omega-7. Warning. Defense systems have been dormant for centuries. Functionality may be compromised. Proceed anyway. Throughout Earth's orbit, ancient weapons platforms stirred to life. Solar arrays unfolded, power cores initiated restart sequences, and targeting systems began recalibration. Many failed, their circuits long degraded, but enough remained operational to pose a credible threat. Maya made her way to the facility's armory, her augmented legs growing steadier with each step. Her combat suit responded to her presence, unfolding from its storage case and molding itself to her body. The reactive armor interfaced directly with her neural implants, becoming an extension of her nervous system. The weapons she selected were simple but lethal, a kinetic pulse rifle calibrated to her genetic signature, a molecular blade capable of slicing through virtually any known material, and a set of gravity manipulation grenades. The Concordat vessel has detected power signatures from the orbital platforms, Araya reported. They are altering their scan pattern and appear to be initiating communication protocols. Open a channel, Maya ordered, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions raging within her. Centuries of sleep had not diminished the rage she felt toward those who had nearly exterminated her species. Aboard the Concordat scout vessel Distant Horizon, Captain Vrexland stared in disbelief at the readings flooding his command console. His 4 eyes blinked rapidly in sequence, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. "Impossible," he hissed, membrane-covered fingers dancing across the controls. "This world is dead. The containment protocols have been maintained for over 2 centuries. His second-in-command, a tall, spindly being with iridescent scales, approached cautiously. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the surface. It's in perfect galactic standard." Vrexland's breathing slits flared in surprise. On screen, the ship's communication array resolved into an image that shocked the entire bridge crew into silence. A human female, clad in military armor unlike anything in current Concordat databases, stared back at them with cold, calculating eyes. "Concordat vessel," she stated, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of human defiance. "You are trespassing in Earth space. You have 30 seconds to withdraw." Vrexland recovered quickly, years of diplomatic training asserting themselves. "This is Captain Vrexland of the Concordat scout vessel Distant Horizon. Earth is under official quarantine by order of the Galactic Council. Identify yourself immediately." The human's expression didn't change. "Commander Maya Chen, Earth Defense Force. Your quarantine was never recognized as legitimate by Earth authorities. This is sovereign human territory. 20 seconds remaining." Vrexland's second made an urgent gesture toward the sensor displays. "Captain, we're detecting energy signatures from previously dormant orbital platforms. They're targeting us." "Impossible," Vrexland repeated. "The bombardment destroyed all Earth military capabilities. The historical records are clear." 15 seconds. Maya continued, implacable. Vrexland's diplomatic instincts warred with his training. This situation was unprecedented. Humans with military capability were supposed to be extinct, their technological base reduced to primitive levels through orbital bombardment and aggressive containment protocols. "Commander Chen," he replied, choosing his words carefully, "I propose we discuss this situation. The containment of Earth was established 247 years ago, after your species demonstrated aggressive expansion tendencies that threatened galactic stability." "You mean after we defeated 3 Concordat battle groups and proved humans weren't going to be easily subjugated?" Maya countered. 10 seconds. Vrexland's membranes fluttered in agitation. "We carry no weapons capable of planetary assault. We are a scientific vessel conducting routine quarantine verification." 5 seconds. The tactical officer interrupted urgently. "Captain, the orbital platforms have locked targeting solutions. Our shields cannot withstand concentrated fire from multiple vectors." Vrexland made his decision. "Begin withdrawal procedures. Maintain defensive posture, but do not engage." To Maya, he said, "Commander, we are complying with your demand, but this incident will be reported to the Galactic Council. The quarantine of Earth remains in effect under interstellar law." Maya's expression remained cold. "The laws of your Concordat have no jurisdiction here. This planet remains under human authority. Any further incursions will be met with immediate military response." The transmission cut abruptly. Vrexland stared at the blank screen, his mind racing. This changed everything. If humans had maintained military capabilities despite centuries of quarantine, the entire containment strategy was compromised. "Set course for the nearest communication relay," he ordered. "Priority 1 message to Concordat Central Command." As the Distant Horizon moved away from Earth orbit, Maya watched through the facility's sensors, her augmented vision capable of tracking the alien vessel's every movement. "They're retreating," Araya confirmed. However, long-range scans indicate they are preparing to transmit data through the Concordat relay network. "Let them," Maya replied. It's time the Concordat learned that humanity isn't as contained as they thought. She accessed the facility's communication array. Establish connection with all human settlements. Authorization, Chen Omega-7. Connection established. All 17 major Earth settlements are receiving. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. This is Commander Maya Chen of Project Sentinel. After nearly 2.5 centuries, I have been awakened in accordance with the Awakening Protocol. The Concordat has returned to Earth space, which means our period of recovery is over. To all settlements, activate your hidden technology cages. To all hidden colonies among the stars, the time for hiding is coming to an end. The reclamation begins now. Araya's voice interrupted. "Commander, I am receiving responses from multiple Earth settlements. Additionally, deep space transmissions are being detected from previously unregistered human colonies." Maya nodded, a fierce determination burning in her eyes. The Concordat thought they had extinguished humanity's flame. Instead, they merely scattered the embers across the galaxy. Now it's time to show them how brightly we can burn. Across Earth's surface, hidden bunkers similar to Maya's began powering up, centuries-old systems awakening at her signal. In the darkness between stars, cloaked human colonies received her transmission and began preparing the ships and weapons they had been building in secret for generations. The long night of humanity's defeat was ending. The dawn of reclamation had begun. Shadows among stars. Captain Vrexelen stood rigidly before the Concordat High Council, his report having sent shockwaves through the massive circular chamber. 12 representatives of the most powerful species in the galaxy stared down at him, with expressions ranging from disbelief to outright hostility. "You expect us to believe," began Councillor Zeplak, the imposing representative of the Vorkian Dominion, "that not only have humans maintained military technology, despite 2 centuries of containment, but they have also established off-world colonies without detection. The evidence is irrefutable, Councillor," Vrexelen replied, his 4 eyes focused straight ahead. "Since my initial report 3 standard weeks ago, 16 additional scout vessels have confirmed unusual activity in Earth orbit. The human commander's claims about off-world colonies align with recent unexplained phenomena along the outer rim." High Chancellor Emet Sor, the ancient Axlothi who had led the council for over 60 years, leaned forward. "If true, this represents the most significant intelligence failure in Concordat history. The containment of Earth was supposed to be absolute." "Perhaps," interjected Councillor Terrace, a rare Solidian whose species had always maintained skepticism about the Earth quarantine, "we should consider that our ancestors might have underestimated human adaptability and resilience." The chamber erupted in heated debate, various councillors arguing about responsibility and potential responses. Vrexelen remained silent, waiting for the inevitable conclusion. Finally, Chancellor Emet Sor raised a gnarled hand for silence. "Captain Vrexelen, your report is troubling, but ultimately changes nothing. The containment of Earth was established for the safety of all spacefaring civilizations. If humans have indeed circumvented our protocols, they must be brought back into compliance." He turned to the Council. "I propose immediate dispatch of the 7th Enforcement Fleet to Earth to re-establish quarantine measures." The vote was swift and nearly unanimous. Only Councillor Terrace abstained. As Vrexelen left the chamber, Terrace approached him in the corridor. "Captain, a moment of your time." Vrexelen inclined his head respectfully. "Councillor, your encounter with this human commander, what was your impression of her?" Vrexelen considered carefully. She was formidable, utterly convinced of her righteous cause. But there was something else. Her physiology showed signs of extensive augmentation beyond anything in our records of human capability. Terrace nodded slowly. "The Council fears what they do not understand. The original quarantine was never truly about containing human aggression, as the official records state. The Solidian glanced around to ensure they weren't overheard. It was about containing human potential. Before Vrexlen could ask for clarification, Terrace pressed a small data crystal into his hand. When you return to Earth with the enforcement fleet, you may find this useful. Choose wisely, Captain. Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Maya Chen stood in the heart of the facility's command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing the status of humanity's scattered forces. The 3 weeks since her confrontation with the Concordat scout had been a flurry of activity as dormant systems were reactivated and communication established with human settlements both on Earth and among the stars. Status report on the reclamation fleet, she demanded. Kai Nakamura, leader of the hidden lunar colony Armstrong, and now Maya's de facto second-in-command, gestured toward one of the displays. 37 vessels confirmed and converging on the rendezvous point. Another 15 are en route but delayed. Total combat capability is approximately 60% of projections. Maya nodded, her enhanced mind calculating probabilities and outcomes. And the Lazarus Protocol. Dr. Elena Santos, head of the scientific division, stepped forward. Her ancestors had maintained the technological knowledge forbidden by the Concordat, passing it down through generations of scientists working in secret. The first generation of enhanced soldiers is ready for deployment. Their augmentations are based on your original specifications, but with improvements derived from 2 centuries of clandestine research. And the ancestral weapon? Maya asked quietly. Elena hesitated. Operational, but unstable. The power requirements are immense, and we cannot guarantee control once initiated. Maya stared at the tactical display, weighing their options. Intelligence gathered from their limited sensor network indicated that the Concordat was mobilizing a significant fleet. The window for action was closing rapidly. We proceed as planned, she decided. We only need to hold them off long enough to activate the beacon. Kai frowned. Commander, even with our combined forces, we're outnumbered at least 3 to 1. The Concordat has had centuries to advance their technology, while we've been operating with limited resources. Numbers and technology aren't everything, Kai, Maya replied, a cold determination in her voice. Humanity has one advantage the Concordat has always feared. We adapt, we evolve, and we never accept defeat. In the darkness of space, at the edge of the solar system, the 7th Enforcement Fleet of the Concordat emerged from hyperspace. 53 warships arranged in perfect formation, led by the dreadnought Eternal Vigilance. Fleet Commander Krenzov stood on the bridge, surveying the holographic representation of the system before him. Sensors detect multiple objects on intercept course, reported his tactical officer. Configuration unknown, but energy signatures suggest human origin. Krenzov displayed no surprise. The Council's intelligence was correct. Then, prepare to engage on my command. He turned to his communications officer. Open a channel to all approaching vessels. The officer worked her console. Channel open. Commander. Attention unidentified vessels. This is Fleet Commander Krenzov of the Concordat Enforcement Fleet. You are in violation of the Quarantine Edict of 2536. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, or face immediate destruction. The response came instantly, and Krenzov was surprised to see the same human female who had confronted Captain Vrexlen weeks earlier. This is Commander Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Force. Your quarantine was imposed through an unprovoked act of genocide and has never been recognized by humanity. This solar system is sovereign human territory. You are trespassing. Withdraw immediately. Krenzov allowed himself a small smile. Commander Chen, I command 53 warships equipped with the latest Concordat weapons technology. Your fleet appears to consist of 39 vessels of questionable capability. I admire your courage, but your demand is illogical. Maya's expression remained impassive. We are done living in shadows, Commander. Humanity will no longer be contained. With that, The human vessels accelerated, breaking their formation and dispersing in a pattern that momentarily confused the Concordat tactical systems. Before Krenzov could issue orders, the first salvo of human weapons fire struck the outer vessels of his fleet. "Minimal damage to shields," reported his tactical officer. "Their weapons are primitive by our standards." "Return fire," Krenzov ordered calmly. "Target their lead vessels." The space between the fleets lit up with energy discharges as the battle began in earnest. The Concordat ships, with their superior firepower and defenses, quickly gained the upper hand, disabling or destroying several human vessels within minutes. Yet something was wrong. Despite their initial losses, the human fleet maintained its erratic attack pattern, focusing fire on seemingly random targets rather than concentrating on the Concordat's command ships. "Their tactics make no sense," muttered Krenzov. "They're sacrificing ships for negligible strategic gain." In the midst of the chaos, a single small vessel broke through the Concordat formation, accelerating toward the Eternal Vigilance at suicidal speed. Krenzov recognized the danger immediately. "Concentrate fire on that ship," he commanded. Multiple weapons locked onto the approaching vessel, but its erratic, evasive maneuvers made targeting difficult. When the Concordat weapons finally found their mark, the ship exploded in a blinding flash that momentarily disrupted the dreadnought's sensors. When the systems cleared, Captain Vrexlen was shocked to discover a single human figure floating in space where the ship had been, a figure that was somehow surviving in the vacuum without protection, propelling itself toward the dreadnought using some form of integrated propulsion system. "Impossible," he whispered, echoing his reaction from their first encounter. On the dreadnought's bridge, alarms blared as security systems detected an unauthorized entry. Commander Krenzov turned to his security chief in disbelief. "Report. Breach in Docking Bay 7, came the panicked response. "The human survivor from the destroyed vessel. It's inside the ship. Security teams are engaging." But the officer's voice trailed off as the ship's internal sensors showed security personnel being systematically neutralized by a single intruder moving at impossible speed. In the command center on Earth, Maya monitored the battle through her neural interface, receiving real-time updates from the surviving fleet vessels and from Commander Lian Wei, the augmented soldier who had successfully infiltrated the Concordat flagship. "Status of the beacon," she demanded. Dr. Santos checked her instruments. "Power levels at 87% and rising. We'll reach activation threshold in approximately 12 minutes. Maya nodded. "All vessels, execute Phase 2. Commander Wei, proceed to the target." Across the battlefield, the remaining human ships suddenly altered their tactics, forming a defensive perimeter around Earth while continuing to draw Concordat fire. Their purpose became clear. They were buying time, not seeking victory. Aboard the Eternal Vigilance, Lian Wei moved through the corridors with inhuman speed and precision. Her augmented body, enhanced beyond even Maya's capabilities, made short work of the Concordat security forces. Her target was clear, the ship's central communication array. On the bridge, Krenzov received increasingly desperate reports as the intruder cut through his ship's defenses. "Lock down all sensitive areas," he ordered. "Divert power to internal security fields." Captain Vrexlen, who had been observing silently, finally spoke. "Commander, perhaps we should consider." "I don't need suggestions from a scout captain," Krenzov snapped. "This human incursion will be crushed, and Earth will be returned to full quarantine as ordered by the Council." Vrexlen fell silent, his hand unconsciously touching the data crystal Counselor Terrace had given him. Back on Earth, the ancient facility beneath the Himalayas hummed with power as the beacon neared activation. The massive device, hidden from Concordat sensors for centuries, represented humanity's ultimate gamble, a technology discovered in the early days of human expansion that had been deemed too dangerous to use. "Beacon at 95%, Dr. Santos announced. "Commander, once activated, we cannot control who responds. The signal will reach across the galaxy." Maya's expression was grim but determined. "The Concordat, has portrayed humanity as a threat to galactic peace for centuries. It's time for other species to learn the truth. On the Concordat flagship, Lian Wei finally reached the central communication array, planting the specialized device she had carried through vacuum and battle. The quantum entanglement transmitter would establish a direct link to Earth, bypassing all Concordat security measures. Device placed, she reported through her neural link, awaiting activation command. In the Earth facility, Maya gave a single nod. Activate the beacon. The ancient device pulsed once, twice, and then released a wave of energy that spread outward at faster than light speeds, carrying with it a message encoded into the fabric of space-time itself, a message that could not be blocked, jammed, or intercepted. Simultaneously, Lian activated her device aboard the Concordat flagship, forcing the ship's communication array to broadcast directly to every vessel in the Concordat fleet. Every screen, every communication device, every neural interface across both fleets suddenly displayed the same message. The truth the Concordat had hidden for centuries. Historical records, scientific data, and diplomatic communications revealed the real reason behind Earth's quarantine: fear of human potential. The Concordat's own research had predicted that humans, with their unique genetic adaptability and technological innovation rate, would surpass all other known species within a millennium. The quarantine had never been about protecting the galaxy from human aggression. It had been about protecting the established power structure from inevitable change. On the bridge of the Eternal Vigilance, Commander Krenzov stared at the revealed documents in horror. "This is treasonous propaganda," he declared. "All vessels, disregard this unauthorized transmission and continue the attack." But Captain Vrexlan had already inserted Counselor Terrace's data crystal into his console, comparing its contents with the broadcast. "The documents match, Commander," he announced. "These are authentic Concordat records, classified at the highest level." Throughout the fleet, confusion spread as crews questioned orders. Several ship captains, particularly those from species that had joined the Concordat after Earth's quarantine, openly refused to continue the attack. In the midst of this chaos, new signatures appeared at the edge of the system, ships of unknown configuration, responding to the beacon's call. The first to arrive were the Solidians, Counselor Terrace's people, followed by representatives of a dozen other spacefaring civilizations who had questioned the Concordat's dominance for centuries. Commander Krenzov watched as his unified fleet disintegrated into factions, some remaining loyal while others withdrew from the battle line. "This changes nothing," he snarled, turning to his weapons officer. "Target Earth directly. If we cannot maintain the quarantine, we will fulfill its original purpose." "Sir," the weapons officer hesitated, "that would constitute planetary genocide." "It is a containment action authorized by the Council," Krenzov interrupted. "Execute my order." Before the officer could comply, Captain Vrexlan drew his sidearm. "Belay that order. Commander Krenzov, I am relieving you of command under Concordat Emergency Protocol 17, which prohibits actions of mass genocide without full Council authorization." Security officers moved to intervene, but stopped short when Lian Wei materialized on the bridge, her augmented body positioned strategically between Vrexlan and the security team. "This is mutiny," Krenzov hissed. "This is the beginning of change," Vrexlan replied. The Concordat was founded on principles of peaceful cooperation and mutual prosperity. Somewhere along the way, fear replaced those principles. He turned to the communications officer. "Open a channel to Commander Chen." On Earth, Maya received Vrexlan's transmission with cautious optimism. "Captain Vrexlan, I see the situation aboard your vessel has evolved." "Indeed, Commander," Vrexlan replied. "I propose an immediate cessation of hostilities and the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Concordat, or at least those elements of it willing to acknowledge past wrongs, and humanity." Maya's eyes narrowed. The last time humanity trusted the Concordat, it ended with billions dead and our planet in ruins. "I understand your skepticism," Vrexlan acknowledged, "but the beacon you activated has done more than call potential allies. It has forced a reckoning within the Concordat itself. Many of us had no knowledge of the true reasons behind Earth's quarantine. Maya considered this, her enhanced mind calculating probabilities and scenarios. A formal delegation may meet on neutral ground, she finally decided. But the quarantine ends today, regardless of diplomatic outcomes. As the fighting ceased and an uneasy truce settled over the solar system, Maya stood in the heart of the ancient facility, surrounded by the leaders of Earth's settlements and representatives from the hidden colonies. They had survived centuries of oppression, adapting and evolving in the shadows. Now they would step into the light. The road ahead will not be easy, she told them. The Concordat will resist change, and we have much rebuilding to do. But today marks humanity's return to the galactic stage. Across the stars, the message carried by the beacon continued to spread, revealing truths long hidden and challenging assumptions centuries in the making. Earth's long night of isolation was ending, and a new dawn approached, one where humanity would claim its place among the stars, not as a quarantine threat, but as a force for change in a galaxy that had feared its potential for too long. The shadows had receded, and in their place, hope emerged, not just for humanity, but for all species who had lived under the Concordat's shadow of fear.